of my attempt to show you how to use Logger Pro to record the motion of a falling object. Now, we've used Logger Pro many times in the past. We've normally plugged in some sort of data collection device. This time, however, we're not going to plug in any probes. There's no motion detector involved in this time. We're going to be using your computer's video camera to collect some data. So as you can see on the screen, there's your handsome narrator over here, standing in front of a yellow wall. And we have some data over here on the right, and we have some numerical data here on the bottom. So we're going to be using Logger Pro to examine gravity, examine terminal velocity, and examine falling objects, right? So we're going to be using it to collect some hard data, some numerical data to prove something. Science, we always want to have data to back up whatever we're trying to establish. So we're all set. This is what we want to have at the end of this experiment. So to get here, I'm first of all going to start a new experiment. Oops, get into Logger Pro, and I'm going to start a new experiment. Okay, and I'm going to save my changes to that, so it's in the background. Brand new experiment. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a screen recording. So I'm going to go to drop-down menu, insert here, and do something called video capture. Now, the first thing that pops up we see is, what resolution do I want to capture my video in? Well, we're going to go with the largest resolution here for now. And click OK. It says, do I want to use a built-in microphone? Well, I don't really need sound for this, but I'm going to keep the microphone on anyway, and I'm going to click OK. Now, immediately my face is going to pop up there, and I'm going to say hello. And we're back in front of the yellow wall here. And we have some buttons over here on the side. And the first one I'm going to click is Options. So you can see here there's some video caption options. We're going to keep it at 10 seconds. We shouldn't need more than 10 seconds to collect this data. Okay. We're going to now click on camera settings down here. And what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the compression up here to best. And hopefully this is going to give us a nice, clean, multi-frame recording. Okay. We're going to keep frames per second at best. And for now, we're going to use the MPEG-4 video. I'm going to click OK. Okay? And when I click OK again, my face is going to appear once again. But before I do that, I need to find the ball I was using. Oh, there it is. Okay, all set. Ready and OK. Got the ball? Okay. I'm going to start capturing my video over here. And when I start capturing the video, I'm going to run over. I'm going to position the ball. Okay. I'm going to drop it, and hopefully, let me adjust this down a little bit. Hopefully, we'll be able to run back and hit stop the capture. Ready? And start capture. Going over, and I drop the ball, and I run back, and I hit stop capture. Okay. Now I can close down this screen there, and in the background we see the video. Okay. So, as I slide my slider along here, you can see that I've got my video. I can also just hit play, and annoyingly I can hear myself talking. Okay, so what we want to do now is turn this into usable data. So, step one. Plug my computer back in so I have some power. Okay, so down here, bottom right hand side of the screen says enable disable video analysis. So I'm going to enable that, and we have some buttons that pop up over here on the side. Right? I'm going to shrink this down just a little bit so we can see a bit better. There we go. Okay, so I got my buttons over here on the side. So what I want to do is I'm going to forward or back my video up to where the fall was happening. Ooh, that's so cool. Right there. Okay? So, first thing I'm going to do is I want to set up a grid. I want to set up an XY axis. Okay? So right here, third button down, it says Set Origin. Okay, I'm going to click on that, and when I click, I see I have this nice crosshair. Okay? So, This is an XY axis. X is across here and Y is down this way. Now, because this object is falling down and I want to have positive data. Now, so if we think about, this is my reference point right there. The 0, 0, 0x, 0y is sort of my reference point. And I could have negative data, but I actually want to, it's more convenient for me, and I think maybe for you, to have positive data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this ball here and I'm going to rotate my axis there. So now x is actually down and y is across the top. So this is going to give me positive data. Okay? So got the ball there, ready to drop. So now I'm going to click on the second button down, which is Add Point. Now, when I click on the screen now, it's going to advance a frame of film every time I click. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to be adding points to the center of this ball as it falls. So when I click, you can see my film just advanced one frame. I want to click in the center of the ball again, trying to keep right below the point I just added. Click again. Okay, I'm going to click in the center of the ball again. Now, things are starting to get blurred here. I'm going to assume that the leading edge here is where my ball is. Okay, because the frame is a bit blurred, we're going to assume right down here is where the center of my ball is. And again, I'm going to click into what I think is the center of the ball. Okay, so at the leading edge of this blur, right there. And again at the leading edge of the blur. And again, the blur. And ooh, I'm starting to fade here, but I think it's still there. Now it's off screen. Okay, so now I've got the fall of the ball. We can see how the data points are getting further apart as the ball accelerates towards the floor. Now, this isn't enough information. I need to actually know how far apart those data points are. So over here, the fourth button down, a ruler. This is allowing me to set the scale. So I'm going to click there, and I've set up on the wall here 2 marks that I know are exactly a meter apart. So if I click on the first one and drag down while I'm holding down the button, I can let it go right there. And it's going to say, what distance do I want this to be? Well, it's a 1 meter, so I'm just going to click OK. Okay? So now, I'm going to hit Apple R, or Command R, and that's going to arrange my windows nicely for me. And we can see is over here, I've got my data, my video data. Down here, I've got my numerical data for what's happening. And over here, I've got my 2 lines. Now I've got a red line going up here, and I've also got this blue line along here. Well, I only need the dots that are in red. These are my velocities for x. Remember, I switched x to be going down so that I could have positive data. Okay, so really I only care about the x data. So I'm going to move my cursor over the x and y here, and you can see that a little y has appeared. It says click to choose your x column. Well, I'm going to click there. I'm going to make my x column x velocity, or my y column x velocity, and that's gotten rid of my second set of data because I only really need to see this. And what we can see is we've got velocity in meters per second, and we have time in seconds going across the bottom here. And from this we can see that over less than a second the ball fell that distance. Okay, so these data points represent the velocity of that ball fall. Okay, if I double click on the center of the graph here, okay, I can actually, let's see, you can change some things around here. I can make it an empty circle or a filled circle. I can change what my data points look like. Okay, and I can change their color, I can change the display precision, but really we don't need to, mess with this too much. Okay, I like red points, they're just fine. I could change it to blue, I suppose, to match the blue dots in the screen, but that's okay. That, hit done, okay. So now the blue dots over here represent these blue dots on the graph. Again, if I double click, I can connect those points so I get a curve here. But what we have here is velocity is increasing. So as the ball fell, the ball is accelerating. Velocity is increasing as time goes by. So the ball never reached a terminal velocity. It never reached a point where the upward force of friction equalized the downward force of gravity. When those two forces are equal, the ball would stop accelerating. But the ball never stopped accelerating. This is the sort of data we're going to be collecting in order to prove whether terminal velocity is reached or not. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.